Okay, so the question was, why do we refer to the nature as Mother Nature, Prakruti, uh, Shiva and Parvati, all those things? Uh, why is that? Hinduism always has given equal importance to the males and females. And it's not just a social arrangement or a respecting the women or nothing like that. It is the energy which is female, and the totality is a male. Ultimately, it's the male and female union that takes you to the ultimate state. So that's where the philosophy diverges from so many other parts of the world or the religions. And so giving equal importance to the females, and if we really look at it and understand it only at the gross level, because as we have only body consciousness. We hardly know our mind, which reflexly keeps on working in the world. And so all we know is mind and body, but the soul and the inner consciousness, we don't know. So at the body level, male and female, all we know as a physical characteristics, but it's not true. Ancient wisdom has seen very deep into this. So it's not just being a male or a female, and then there is a union. And we know that too. That's how the union takes place, and the life moves on and all that. And it's like a vertical axis, like of evolution. And we rotate around and we keep on climbing. And evolution keeps on happening only after the differentiation of the male and female, which started millions of years ago. But since then, they are revolving around each other. And there is a reason for it. So it's not just being a physical male or physical female. It is the male characteristics and a female characteristics. Those things are important. But what are those characteristics? Males are conditioned to go out and make a living. They have to go out, deal with the world, calculate how much reward you're going to give me for my work, and ultimately at the end of the day, bring some money home. So they have to calculate all the time. Living outside in the world is living in duality, because outside it's you and your customer, you and your follower, you and this. So there is a duality at its max. Sansar means duality. And you have to divide, you have to attribute your work into the reward for it so that you can bring something at home at the end of the day. So obviously, wherever there is a division, you don't want to walk away with a loss, right? You did something, you want to make sure you sold something, say for $10, but you make sure that you bought it for $8. Otherwise, what's the point? There is no point in doing a business if you're not taking any money home. So those calculations are continuously present in the man's mind, because he is the money-oriented, business-oriented. And for that, he has to do a lot of heavy work, a lot of thinking power, a lot of physical labor, so that he can take something home. But the female characteristics are different. Female are blessed with the gift of the consciousness to be able to rise above these calculations. And it's not that they are not going to calculate, but they have a natural gift to let go. And what is that letting go? What is that feature that is only in the females and not in the males? So it is the love, the unconditionality of the love. So if you look at it, the male characteristics are all about calculations and divisions. So a scientist would theoretically will be a male dominant, not outside in the world. I'm not saying females cannot be scientists. I'm not talking about that. Scientific approach to the world is divisions. If you want to know about a frog, you have to cut him open, dissect it, separate out everything. But you will learn. You will learn how the frog's heart works, how the lungs work, how the blood flows, everything, no question about it. But there are certain things you cannot find, like soul or love. Where do you find love? Love is not dissectable. In fact, only after the combination of physical structures, a body is created. But in that body, there is mind, there are thoughts, there are beliefs, and there are convictions, and then above all that, there is love. Because if you really look at it, for males, the whole world is divided. Male is dominantly dualistic, but not to the females. Females would have love for her child. And in that, all conditions disappear. And you don't know why. Because that's the gift. That's the nature's gift. So males cannot understand why a mother would love her child unconditionally. He says, he did this and she did this and that and all that. Mother will say, it's okay. It's my baby. That's how it works. And that is the ultimate glimpse of the femininity. And without the femininity, also you cannot come up, because femininity points towards the higher values of life. That's why science has never been able to accept the presence of the soul. And sannyasis, all they talk about is the soul. That is the whole spirituality. It's all about the soul. So soul happens to be present in a living body after conjunction, after assimilation of various molecules, various atoms and subatomic particles, and all the 5 elements of the earth. They all combine to create a body in which there is residing the soul. And soul is not discoverable by dissection. Science will never reach to the soul level, but we know it's there, but only if you approach it in a different way than the science. So meditation, yes, we all deal with meditation. We have millions of thoughts. And in those thoughts, we have calculations. He did this and she did this, and why did this happen to me, and how much money, whatever. All those things are calculations. There are likes, there are dislikes, but each of them are based on conditions. Like if there is 70 degrees outside, I love it. But if it is 50, I don't like it. But the same 50, you give it to the Alaskan. 50 is a springtime for them. So they love it. So those conditions are pre-programmed in your brains. And based on those conditions, we decide the world, how the world is, whether it's something we like or something we dislike. All those things are based on our conditions. And conditions are rigidities. Rigidities means you have opinions about a person, about a weather, about a God, about politics. So we don't realize that these opinions, conditions, these are rigidities. Originally, it's all consciousness, but that's only when it's your fact. But ultimately, Einstein says is E equal to mc square. All the mass is nothing but energy. Energy is soft. It flies. It dances. There is no set pattern. Spirit is unperceivable. So it's like water. When the water turns into ice, you can murder someone with this icicle, right? So same way, our opinions, our beliefs, our convictions are rigidities. And with that, we fight with everyone. If I am Hindu, you're not. Again, my opinion against your opinion. I am better, you're not. Fight. I am Indian, you're American, fight. I am American, you are Iranian, Iraqi, fight. You're Jew, all those things keep on happening. I have this color, you have that color. I have this much knowledge, you have this knowledge. I am smart, you're dumb. I am tall, I am short. All these are loaded in our minds, and our minds have become rigid. This is male-oriented pattern. That does not mean the females don't have opinions. They are also experts in their own opinions, no question about it. But that is their male side of it. So deep hidden within them, there is a seed that can ultimately grow into a beautiful tree of spirituality. And that seed is unconditionality. Unconditionality is the most important because that's where all the conditions drop. Same female may be fighting with someone for $2 or $2 or 2 cents or $15 or $20. You did this and this. And as soon as the son comes or the child comes, no problem. Same husband tells the wife to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning and cook the dinner for 15 friends who are visiting. And you can imagine what will be the fight in the kitchen, right? But if you tell the same situation and you tell that, okay, your son is coming and he's bringing 15 friends, no problem. It's the power. Its conditionality drops. And those are the beautiful things in life. So that's why the male and female tendencies have to be assimilated. And we have to understand the differences. And each one is good, like science is based on exploration, no question about it. Science, rather, is based on doubt. Newtonian physics was considered the top-notch science at one time, but it was proven wrong, only because somebody doubted it, right? And then Einstein came along. And when Einstein put the theories, everything was perfect. But now Einstein is being questioned also. So scientific approach to the life is based on doubt, right? But on the basis of that, you cannot approach the soul. For understanding the soul, yes, you go inside, you try to analyze, and you try to reason, you utilize. Mind is beautiful. Mind has a power to analyze and discuss and all those things. So do to the max, no question about it. But thoughts can also take you to a place where it comes to an end. And it sees its own demise, and it realizes that it has no choice but to jump over to the thoughtless state. And thoughtless state is where the consciousness is hiding. But for that jump, it has to take a different approach. Otherwise, meditation remains dry and unnecessary exercise. And it will go on for years, for the rest of your life, and nothing will happen. So we have to understand that the scientists and the sannyasis are two opposite, because sannyasi is synchronizing with the soul, and soul is the subject. It has power to observe, power to analyze, power to assimilate, because it's spirit. Spirit has no divisions. At that level, you unite with the whole world. So spirituality is a path of assimilation. Science is a path of divisions. And both are important for progress. So both have to be balanced. You cannot do one extreme and live in this world, and you cannot do another extreme and live in this world either. Because if you keep on taking the path of the science, the divisions are going to keep on happening. And even without knowing what is happening, scientists can get dragged into a very boring life full of boredom. George Bernard Shaw, one of the greatest thinkers from UK, once he visited a jungle in the forest and he saw these Adivasis, the bush people, dancing. It was the middle of the night and the full moon was out there and they were dancing as if nobody's looking at them. They were just dancing to have fun. And that's when he realized that by analyzing too much in life, what we have lost. This fun, this joy, there is no dance in our life. There is no dance in our legs. We live a boring life. Even though we meditate scientifically, and that's not enough. The assimilation has to happen. For that, the feministic approach is absolutely essential. And that's why Hindu Dharma has worshipped the femininity, the female energy. The energy is the ultimate source from where all this matter came. So this Prakruti, Parvati, Maya, this is all manifestations. But even before, thousands of years before Einstein said that, Hinduism knew that this is nothing but energy. Why? How? Just through powerful meditation, where nothing else remains. All your thoughts, which are material, they disappear, but energy remains. And energy which is conscious, it's able to know that it exists and it's able to settle down into itself. The whole world, whole universe can disappear. Nothing happens to the consciousness. So consciousness survives. But to jump from pure meditative approaches to the consciousness, because consciousness is neutral, it encompasses both. Females also have a hard time going beyond themselves because they have love for their child, but they get attached. How do you jump from love for a child and make the whole world your children? That again requires very tremendous amount of courage. And that is found in the male-dominated, the aggression. That's why Mahavir and Buddha were not taking females as their disciples in the beginning. Eventually they gave in and they accepted them. But there is a reason. So each one has a drawback. And only by putting everything together, we can rise higher into this neutral state of consciousness, which is the Sthit Prajna state. So much for today. We'll stop the recording.